Hi everybody and welcome to this awesome episode of the Being Politely Rebellious in Pompey video podcast. We are joined today by the absolutely incredible unsung hero that is Simon Ingram. Welcome, Simon.
Good morning.
How are you? All right?
I'm very good.
Good. You've had a busy old life lately, haven't you? To say the least.
Just slightly.
Just a tad. Didn't you do the Great South Run?
I did a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
And all the charity events, and then you've tried to squeeze in a couple of days of annual leave.
Yes. Yeah.
Busy bee. What's been your favourite event that you've attended or put on so far this year?
Oh, no, you're really asking
me
to...
I know. Well, you've done so many, haven't
you're
you?
really asking me to choose, aren't you?
One that hits different.
I think the one that has been the one that is different is probably because I suppose it's probably there's a few people that can do it. Is the clay shooting?
Really?
Team day. I think that went down a storm because the feedback's been great, and I wasn't too sure whether we were going to be able to pull it off. But the team on the island that I know as well put on a great day for us, and everyone that came was just, they're all buzzing about it. They still talk to me about it now, like, oh, we're going to do another one.
And that was in aid of, was it Motivate?
That was in aid of Motivate, yeah.
And you support so many local charities and that sector, including ourselves at Politely Rebellious Next Gen, and thank you. But it, as outsiders, for those watching, it will probably look like you've just kind of like popped up out of nowhere, right? And all of a sudden Simon's everywhere.
Yeah.
But what I'd love to explore with you today is the story that maybe not everybody knows around what's led you to be the man that you are today, and what's made you be such a giving human being, not just with money, but with time and energy. Because I think that that's what a lot of people don't understand, right, is that you're not just giving money where you can. It is so much time and energy. Take us back a little bit. So you were born on the island, weren't you?
Yeah.
As in the Isle of Wight people.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, so I was born on the Isle of Wight in Newport, 1972.
You didn't have to say that part. You didn't need to reveal that.
So a while back.
Yeah.
and I still live there now.
Yeah.
So I've lived there all my life. But I've spent most of my career commuting.
Yeah.
Across that stretch of water to this side, to the mainland, as we call it.
As you call it. Would you say that that's because there aren't as many opportunities on the island?
No, it's probably, in terms of unemployment, I'd say it's probably worse than Portsmouth. Really? Actually. It's hard to craft a career for yourself on the island, and I'd say it's probably got worse actually, because tourism is not what it used to be. So there's not a lot of opportunity on the island.
No, that does make sense. And I think it's something that us on the mainland don't really think about too often. And I worked for Hover Travel for a couple of years when I was in my last year at uni. One of my favourite jobs ever. And I used to travel over to the island and work on the island. And there was definitely this clear split between people that wanted to leave the island, maybe not live off the island, but work off the island, and those that were like islanders, they live, work, breathe, everything on the island. Does that ever create like a disjoint in relationships at all?
I definitely think that there is like this. There's this Isle of Wight mentality. Yeah. I don't have it.
Yeah.
But I suppose the island's like my safe space. Although I've got business over there, we've got an office in Ryde. For me, it's a safe space where I go back to when I try to switch off.
Yeah.
And I don't really get too much involved with the stuff on the islands. I've got my family and that there, but I tend to just retreat there at the weekends with my wife, little dog, because my son's flown the nest, and it's just a sort of like a place where I try and... A
sanctuary.
Recharge each weekend.
That makes sense. And so early life for you, so you grew up with your mum, your dad, and was it one sister?
One sister, yes.
Yeah. What was early life like for Simon?
So early life was I think up until the age of probably 9, I would say I've always got very good memories, fond memories, and like with my grandparents as well. They had hotels, etc. on the island as well, and it just felt fun.
Mm.
I was an avid fisherman.
Yeah.
Used to win lots of junior fishing
Oh,
comps and stuff,
really?
and used to go out on the boat and that all the time
Do
as
you
well.
still
My
fish
father,
now,
I
or
still fish
do
now. I've got a lot
you?
of fishing gear in my shed. I haven't been for a long time because I'm trying to find the
I
time.
didn't picture that. I didn't picture Fisherman Simon.
Um,
Learn something new every
but
day.
yeah, it was great.
Mm.
And probably around about that, from 9 I started to become probably aware of what was going on with my parents, and
Mm.
and you're less sheltered from things as you get older. You're
Yeah.
seeing what's going on.
Like a disconnect between them, or
Yeah, and it just they weren't happy at the end of the day.
mm.
There were lots of money problems,
Right.
lots of debt.
Yeah.
We were moving home a lot.
Yeah.
Lots of new business ideas or jobs. Lots of things just kept on coming along, and
Mm.
we never really knew where we were coming or going, to be honest. And
Did nothing particularly land?
nothing landed. No,
No.
no, nothing landed. Lots of great ideas that they wanted to do, but
Mm.
that just led to debt, really,
Yeah.
and money troubles.
And was that something that they were doing together, like collective ideas, or was there?
Sometimes it was always a together, but
Mm.
sometimes the ventures were together, but sometimes it was like my father on his own. Like
Yeah.
he he had this dream of his fishing boat,
Yeah.
commercial fishing boat, and
Right.
like that was the catalyst, I think, that probably started the sort of downward spiral, because there was a lot of, I don't know the details, but I know because people were talking about it in the family, and
Yeah.
that created a lot of discontent within the family, and my father got into debt over it, and
Yeah.
it was just this thing that started to spiral.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that what sort of led towards what was obviously such a traumatic experience for the whole family?
I think so. I mean, sort of, so the money troubles were definitely something that caught up with him. No,
Mm.
there's no question about that,
Right.
because I think what happened was there's a lot of deceit, lying,
Mm.
dishonesty, and to his own family and to everyone around him, and but also I became aware when I had a feeling that he was having an affair,
Mm.
and because they were working in this cafe, and it was a family cafe. It was my grandparents,
Yeah.
and I used to leave the home each evening, and I had my little racer in the back, and I sneaked out and I just jumped on
Oh,
it,
really?
and
How old were you at this point?
I was
Like four?
11.
Oh, 11. I was about to say like 14, 15.
No, I was 11.
11.
I always remember I was 11, and I knew that where this person lived.
Mm.
Yeah,
The woman.
yeah.
Mm.
So I thought, right, okay, I jumped on my bike, I pegged it down on the bike down the back alley to follow the car to see where it was
Mm.
going, and it went off in the direction that I thought it would go.
Right.
Anyway, I rode all the way to the house,
Yeah.
just for my own sanity, to
Yeah.
check, and I realised what was going on.
That's so intuitive. Is that the right word? Intuitive?
Intuitive, yes.
Intuitive, yeah. Like for an 11-year-old to be like, I mean, my son's 12, and actually he does have his wits about him, so I could imagine him to do something really similar. But what did you then do with that information?
Nothing.
Nothing. It was just for you to know that
I
you
just
had
need,
this gut instinct.
yeah,
I need to prove to myself that I'm not going mad.
yeah.
Mm.
And I think then afterwards, it all became a little bit more open, transparent. I mean, I think everyone must have known what was going on.
Yeah.
That my father was openly having affairs with women in front of my mum. My mum was accepting of it, and to the extent that sometimes they were around our house.
Oh, wow.
When with me and my sister were there, when I think about it, it's just mad.
Yeah, mad. And
It's
yet
just
you don't
mad.
think that there was any like involvement from your mum? Like people like to get a little bit sassy sometimes. It was
She
not
knew.
like that.
She knew what was going on, and
Yeah.
so did others. And but she
It wasn't like a
put up
mutual
with it.
sister wife type thing. It was
Oh no, no,
definitely
no, no, no.
affairs.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
definite,
wow. That's
definite.
crazy. And to navigate that as a young person as well. And from the outsider's perspective, or when you're going to school and you know, with your mates as a teenage lad, did it ever come up in conversations with your peers?
It did in the teenage years,
Yeah.
because I think people knew, like when I was about 13, yeah, sort of some of my friends and that, they didn't really talk about it too much, but they were all aware
Yeah.
what was going on.
A bit of maybe
Um,
unwanted jokes or
yeah,
banter and
yeah.
stuff.
I don't know. You just like you sort of brush it off.
Yeah.
You do. You brush it
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
I mean,
And I think it was a different generation as well,
yeah,
right? And maybe that's why your mum, you know, didn't leave or whatever, because it was a lot harder, wasn't it?
yeah.
You're going back quite a few years. Yeah, so we're talking like 80s, really, aren't we?
It was the 80s. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a lot. The I know that obviously recently you've just been a massive part of the Baton of Hope,
yeah.
and I'm really conscious of the fact that all of those emotions that you've had to deal with going through that, and I don't want to sit on it for too long and go over it too much, because I feel like you've been through that emotional roller coaster anyway. But I think it would be really inspirational to just lay that foundation of like what it was that inspired you to become such a huge part of Baton of Hope.
Yeah. So what happened was, but I've always known that, like, there's a sort of connection here. Yeah? I always
Yeah.
knew that I wanted to give back, and I always knew that I had a story, and
Mm,
somehow I could use it to um, hopefully influence and change other people's lives for the
yeah.
better, because they could learn from my sort of lived experience, because somehow I don't know how, but somehow I've managed to turn it into
Yeah, we'll
positives.
get there, we'll get there.
And when the opportunity come up, to get involved with the Parenting Network and the Forge project,
Yeah.
because it was about mental health, men's mental health, really. So I'm thinking about my father,
Yeah.
and also they represent young families, young people.
Mm,
It's like, okay, this is a great charity that we want to get involved with, and Duncan and Dan, my two business partners, were totally on board with it as well.
yeah.
I mean, Joe Morgan was, she put a message out about it, saying that they're looking to sort of try and get some partners to kick
Get
this
some
project
support.
off, get some
Yeah.
support. I sort of, I say sort of, I said, okay, let's have a coffee. We had a coffee, and then next thing I know, I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. And
Mm,
I tried to think, okay, can I pull on all my suppliers, partners, and friends and colleagues that can try and help me
yeah.
bring this project together, which is what we managed to do.
Yeah.
But behind all of that was, like, I was doing it because it was about, I knew that it was going to help men and men's mental health. It was a suicide prevention type unit as well.
Yeah.
So there was a deep rooted purpose there
Yeah. In
be-
your soul. Yeah.
behind it for me. But I didn't tell people that was why I was doing it.
Mm,
And like Duncan and Dan didn't know that was, no one knew why I was,
yeah.
until the night that we'd done the grand opening, and then I shared my story.
Yeah. But I mean, that's crazy in and of itself, right? The fact that you've gone all these years since your dad's passing, obviously by suicide, um, of just cracking on and just not even telling the people closest to you what you went through as a young person, to then all of a sudden exposing your life story and your personal experiences. Like that like hits you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it has, and I'd be lying if I was to say that it hasn't had an impact on me, because it has,
Mm,
because I have opened the memory vault,
yeah,
and
that little box that you keep kind of like,
yeah, I thought I'd
yeah,
locked it. When I say I thought I'd locked it well, I thought I'd dealt with it,
yeah.
and I've come to realise that I hadn't.
Your way of dealing with it was to just push it to one side. But then the thing is that you were all systems go, right? So you've had obviously that traumatic event happen when you were 15, your dad taking his own life.
Yeah.
And apologies
Oh,
if I'm not using the right words.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it
No,
unalive?
that's
No,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
What were you going to say?
no, that's fine.
Yeah. I do struggle with the new terminology. We have to learn. Me and Jade do have often conversations about this. So you've dealt with that, but then that happens when you're 15, and then you then become like the man of the house, right? You've got a mum, you've got a younger sister.
Yeah.
So you're like all systems go. So there wasn't really any time for you to decompress and
It
deal with
wasn't.
those emotions.
No, no, no. And I've been piecing together, like, my memory is crystal clear from around 17 and a half, but from 15 to 17 and a half, I'd lost those memories.
Yeah.
So, and I've been piecing it all together again recently because I opened the memory vault, and reading my father's note to me that he left me, which just sort of gives you an insight into society, what it was like then in 1987, and males weren't considered to have emotions, to have feelings. If you were struggling, then you just needed to man up, sort yourself out, have a word with
Get
yourself.
over it.
And that was what my family were telling my father.
Yeah.
He tried to take his own life twice before, and he succeeded on the third time. So those two times were like opportunities to do something different, but he was just told to man up.
Yeah.
And his note to me was to be a man.
Oh, really? Oh, the irony.
So that's his opening line to me. It was like, you are now the man of the house.
And you took that just as literally as you can, really.
Yeah, look after your mum, look after your sister. So I took it literally, and I remember going to I was at my grandparents because we didn't go back to the flat because of what had happened, and they were telling me, you got to look after your mum, you need to look after your sister. So everyone was drilling into me
that pressure,
that I was the man of the house and I was there to look after them.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's what I've been doing ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to take a moment, thank the Lord, to just breathe a little bit and maybe focus on what it is that Simon needs.
Yeah, I'm sort of like probably trying to reinvent myself a little bit. I'm trying to find my new self. And I'm embracing it.
Yeah, we're here for it. We're here for the reinventing, whatever you call it. The reinvented version of Simon Ingram. We are totally here for it. And so enjoying watching your journey. You're one of those people, actually, one of those few people where, and I think that this is even rarer when it comes to female-male relationships, right? We're both married, it's a totally professional relationship. And that you're one of those rare breeds of humans where when I don't see you, I get to like a week or two and I'm like, oh, where's Simon? Oh, I need like a little Simon fix, and then when I do see you, it's like I saw you yesterday, and I just think that's such a like rare thing to like find and to have. But I just think that says so much about like you and how you make us as a team at Politely just feel so at ease and so comfortable. I'm assuming that maybe in the workplace, and we'll talk about your journey to obviously where you are today with Mountjoy in a moment, right? But like that side of Simon that we get to see, that like friendly, do anything for anyone, is that the side that the employees and the staff at Mountjoy get to see, or is it a completely different version?
I think that they do get to see it.
Yeah.
I think they're getting to see more of it.
Yeah.
These days. But those that closely work with me would see it, I think.
Yeah.
But also, you don't sort of get to my position without being
a bit stern and a
tough,
bit, yeah.
And like it's like you never stop learning, do you?
Yeah.
But I do involve him,
and I think that evolution of like who you're becoming, I think in bits will only help you as a leader, right? I think people will be able to relate to you more and see that you just as human as them, and so that can only help. But right, so yes, managing director, owner, Mountjoy with your business partners. However, take us back to picking tomatoes on the island, please.
Yeah. So so what happened was I was 21.
Right.
Yeah, and from the age of 17 to 21, we'll come back to it. Yeah, it was a bit of a
go there.
It's a bit.
It was a bit sketchy.
Bit messy.
Yeah, a bit messy. Yeah.
Bit messy. Because this will be the thing that something triggered me. Yeah. I'd lived for 2.5 years thinking that my father that had passed was my father.
Right.
And I found out when I was 17 and a half that he wasn't.
I did not think you were going to go there.
So I had an argument with my mum, and it came out in this argument that he was not my real dad.
That's just, can you imagine? I can't even imagine being 15, losing your dad, all the pressure of like being in your final years of school, just trying to navigate everything. And then at 17 years old, being told, actually, that man wasn't even your biological dad.
It did trigger me.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to do well at school from 15 to 17, and I went to college and stuff. But do you know what? I don't know.
Something switched.
I just I wasn't able to really fulfill my potential then. I'd lost my sort of drive, energy. And then when I got that news at 17, that was a trigger for me making some poor decisions.
Just rebelling.
Yeah, I just went off the rails because up until that point, I had just been looking after my mum and looking after my sister. And
Played it by the book.
And I was just a good kid.
Yeah.
I was a really good kid. And I was looking after them. My sister was she was well off the rails.
Yeah.
So I was trying to help her.
Yeah, right.
Keep her on the rails.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being influenced by a couple of individuals that about 6-7 years older than me, and they got me into a whole host of trouble.
Would you go as far as saying that you were groomed?
Well, it's strange, isn't it? Because like now I've come to
understand
that world, and working with you guys, I know I was groomed.
Yeah.
And I knew, and when I broke away from them, I knew that they were grooming others, but I didn't know that as the terminology.
Yeah, that you were just building a crew. You were just making friends.
There were lots of younger teenagers that were coming into their gang, and I was outside because it got difficult for me because I was on the outside of it because I was no longer part of their gang, it was fortunate for me. What happened was that, and nothing happens linear.
Yeah.
I always thought these sliding door moments. Yeah. And you know, I think you've heard me say sometimes that it's about, you know, when luck comes your way, you've got to be ready to take it because you don't know when you're going to get lucky.
Yeah.
I have had some lucky moments that have helped me navigate my life and turn it around in the right way. And one was when I was 19, those two individuals got sent to prison and I didn't.
Right.
And I was so lucky because I actually believe that maybe if I'd gone to prison, I might not have been sat in this chair.
You might have carried on down that path.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was because the system knew, like they knew what you didn't know? So they knew that these individuals were older than you. They had groomed you. They knew the logistics of how it had come about. And so they took grace on you.
Yeah. Well, as I said to you, I was a good kid. I had no previous, you know, and I think that they gave me the maximum sentence I could have without going to prison, with community service and that. And
it was a fair amount of hours as well, wasn't it?
Well, I think I'm a bit disappointed actually because I actually done 60 more hours and it's on my DBS.
Oh, really?
Because they gave me 240 hours. I've done 240 hours.
Yeah, but on your DBS it says 180.
So I don't know where they got that from.
Maybe you were just so good at it. They just kept inviting you back, and you were none the wiser. And so that was obviously a pivotal changing point.
That was 19. I was 19 then. Yeah, and but it was like but I still, I mean, I got heavily involved in drinking drugs, and I was still involved. Yeah. So I was still using. Yeah. At that stage, and I think probably I was just numbing myself. Yeah. Numbing myself because I didn't want to give myself time to think about what was going on.
Well, and also, I mean, that age is difficult anyway. I mean, we see it all the time, don't we, with our young people here at Politely Rebellious. You've met so many of them. It's hard enough as it is navigating life as a young person from that transition of like being a kid to then everyone's expecting you to be an adult and know what you want to do with your life and put a roof over your own head. But then when you throw into that all of the extra stuff and trauma that you'd experience, and at that age you're not going to be recognizing it as trauma, you're just going to be self-medicating. So it's completely understandable that went on for a couple of years. But then you had this moment, right, where you were like, Right. Don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and be normal.
yeah, I am. Yeah, it's like it. I don't know what happens. I've done it a few times where I just suddenly, that's it. I just like
Yeah.
one day I wake up and I'm just not doing it anymore.
Right.
And I was still been using drugs heavily for a couple of years, but I got it was around Christmas time, January time. I decided like that enough is enough, and we went to two friends of mine. We went to Tenerife, and we were just going to go over there and try and stay there, and I just needed to get away.
Yeah.
I knew I had to get myself out of
What,
the
you were
situation.
going there for like holiday or to
going there
live?
to try and live, yeah.
Oh,
because
wow.
I knew that if I stayed doing what I was doing, it was just not going to go a good way. It just wasn't going to go.
You're going to end up like them fellas that were
Yeah,
inside.
I knew I had to change something. So I went there, and I had some money, obviously, because I was up to no good, and I was managing to sort of fend for myself from that age. And we were there for a month. We had a month ticket, and the first 2 weeks we were just there getting absolutely smashed, as you do, because we had money. down Veronica's, down the strip.
Yeah, as you do.
And we were then trying to sell pub crawl tickets for Lineker's bar, and I was bloody hopeless at it. And then I was like just going cold turkey for 2 weeks.
Oh God.
And that's probably the best 2 weeks I had.
Really?
Oh, it was soul searching. It was deep.
Wow.
On my own. The other two were just doing their own bloody thing, but I was just like just in my own moment, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that was when I had this epiphany that I was like, right, okay, when I get back, because I knew I was coming back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had my ticket.
Yeah.
I didn't have any money to get to the bloody airport.
Luckily,
I had a sort of distant relation I had to go and borrow €30 from, so I could get to the airport.
Brilliant.
When I come back, I said, right, okay, that is it. I'm going to sort myself out. And that was the start of it. And I then started picking tomatoes. And then I started
on the island.
On the island, yeah. And started enrolling. Well, I went and done a psychometric test, actually.
No, hang on a second, right? Just roll this back a little bit. So you end up picking tomatoes. So you're like, right, I don't want to live this life anymore. I'm going to go down the straight and narrow. Like, how does one get a job picking tomatoes?
Well, one of the, because there's if you want a job, yeah, you can get a job.
Yeah. I say that even today.
And you can
if you want a job,
you can do it. You do anything. And then one of the things that has served me well is that we were poor when we were kids, yeah, and any money I ever had, I always grafted for.
Yeah.
So I've always worked.
Right.
I've worked from a young age. Yeah. So you know, the thought of working just doesn't scare me. Right. I've always got, you know, I'm not work shy.
Yeah.
You know, I've got that work ethic.
So did you know somebody that owned like a tomato farm?
Or was
it like an advert in the paper?
Yeah, there's an advert in the Cape Press, and basically there's a lot of glass houses on the island. It's because of the climate. So they do well growing tomatoes on the island. So I knew that there was like these seasonal jobs there where you can pick tomatoes. So yeah, I got a job there.
And I mean, that was just the start of obviously an insane and incredible journey. And I know that you say that it's down to luck, but it is also definitely down to that, like you said, being a grafter, having the grit, having the tenacity, and having that aura where people go, yeah, do you know what? Let's give that lad a chance. And so whilst you were picking tomatoes as a full-time job, there then was a job opportunity with the same company, right?
Yeah, there was. So what had happened was I'd enrolled on NVQs in the accountancy because I'd done the psychometric test and that, and it told me that I was good at science, I could be an architect. Anyway, I decided that, okay, being an accountant, actually, I think I could do that. I'll be good at it, and it'll pay well. And at that age, you're thinking, I just need to get a job that's going to pay. I need to get myself back on track.
Thinking like logically.
Yeah. So I was studying that in the afternoons and the evenings, and then I was picking tomatoes there. I ended up actually working in the glasshouse is lifting all. I can't remember what the role was called now, but basically you're on these trolleys,
Mm.
yeah, where you got these motorised trolleys going down the rail. So there's just rows and rows of them. You lifted the tomato plant up because it grows about a foot a week.
Oh wow.
So you're having to lift them up and spinning them around the
Oh,
wire,
wow.
and then lift them up and drop them down again because the tomatoes all drop down, yeah, because that's where you pick them. So I ended up doing that for about 18 months, and what happened was they come to realise that I was doing this accountancy course, and I have to admit I was like I was worried about, oh no, how am I going to get a job, because other than picking tomatoes, because I'm going to have to talk about my criminal record,
Yeah.
And that was worrying me,
Yeah.
because I had a bit of a rap sheet,
And it probably put a bit of a barrier in front of yourself, right?
yeah, it did, and it's another sliding door moment. That the company that was linked to the tomato farm that I was picking tomatoes, who marketed tomatoes, sold them into like Marks and Sparks and Morrison's and places like that. They had this trainee management accountant role come up.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And they offered me the role.
That's mad.
Yeah, I obviously went to the interview and all of that, but they
Did
offered
they
me the role.
know at this point, like when you were doing
They didn't know my
tomato
story.
farming, they didn't know your story? No,
No, they didn't know my story.
So they were just taking you on face value for the grafter that you were.
And they knew that I grafted because I've got my record of working there, and yeah.
Wowza. And then you went on to become a fully chartered accountant, right?
Yes.
Which I'm sure was no easy feat, because you were juggling work as well as studying.
Yeah, I can remember like holidays. What are holidays? when you're studying.
That's how I feel at the moment. Yeah.
When you're studying, yeah, you don't have holidays, because every day's holiday you take off to study, to pass your exams,
to sit an exam or whatever. Yeah.
It's a long old slog, and you've got to commit to it.
Yeah, 100%, and you did, which is amazing. At what point during your journey did you meet your lovely wife?
I met Elaine when I was 21.
Did you?
Yeah, so she's been there alongside me. Like, she was earning more money than me.
Yeah.
For quite a while, she was there supporting me, and without her, I wouldn't be sat here.
Yeah. So you've been, ever since you were kind of, I guess, at that point of, I'm gonna be, straight and narrow, do the right thing. She's been by your side.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
We knew each other because of things that we were up to in younger days.
Meeting at the clubs,
exactly.
When there were clubs.
Neither of us were angels per se. As I've told you, I wasn't an angel, but Elaine wasn't particularly an angel as well.
That makes me like her even more.
So we knew of each other, and
And you've been married how many years?
Well, we've been together over 30 years. We've been married 13 years. Yeah,
that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then, so you become a chartered management accountant.
Yeah.
Incredible, well done. And you're living your dream. You're building and working your way up the career ladder. And then tell us a bit about like how you then became the owner of Mountjoy. So you were working for Mountjoy, right?
Yeah, working for Mountjoy. So like I don't know, like I've just got this inner drive, and I don't know where it comes from, but I've got it. And I've never been career minded though. So the only thing and maybe that's where I can relate to people, in the business now, because like I'm no different to anyone.
Yeah.
I'm no different to any of my trades. I just happen to be a chartered management accountant because I've just realised that
that's what I was
good at. Yeah. So I pursued that. So yeah, I just wanted to just be a chartered management accountant, and actually the thought, because I remember seeing my finance directors and financial controllers, when I was working for them, I think, I don't fancy that. That's too stressful. So I never really aspired to have those roles. But what I used to find frustrating was that I needed to feel like I was making a difference in my role, and I get bored. Yeah. So when I can do a job well, I need something more. And when I got to a stage of my career or my role when I was working for a company, I worked for some blue chips like GK and Western Aerospace, P&O Cruises, aggregate industry. So I was working for some like big companies, and but I used to always find myself like, I'm getting bored now. I can do this job. I need something more. Yeah. So that's what led me to move on. My ex financial controller from GK and Western Aerospace was the FD at Mountjoy.
Okay.
And he tapped me up.
Right.
When I was at Aggregate Industries.
Yeah.
And I decided to come across to Mountjoy. in 2005.
Wow. So that's like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then now you and a couple of business partners have acquired the organisation.
Yeah, so the quick whistle top tour of this quickly. So so within 6 months of joining, I realised that it was the worst career move I've made because I produced a forecast and realised that there was a massive hole in the balance sheet.
Right.
I was thinking, what are this lot
It's
doing?
like every finance
and everyone had their
worst
heads.
nightmare.
Everyone had their heads buried in the sand. But the group MD contacted me and said, I am aware of what's going on, and can you help me save the business?
Yeah.
I had nothing to lose, really.
Yeah.
So I thought, what a great experience. This sort of thing that I thrive for,
Yeah.
to get do something like that.
What is the problem? What's the solution?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Problem solver.
Yeah.
So I stayed with them, and I helped them turn the business around.
Wow.
And then that led to me being the financial controller, and then I became the finance director.
Yeah.
And I've seen many an MD come and go in Mountjoy. None of them really succeeded. No one really lasted more than 2 years.
Really?
And the last one left, jumped ship, and they were recruiting for an MD. And I was happy for them to do that because I was just going to stay as FD.
Yeah.
And then they tapped me up and said, well, actually, we'd like you to consider being the MD. And I thought, I don't know, it's just not my sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert.
Introvert who pretends to be an extrovert, right?
Yes.
When you need to. Yeah, that's what I actually said that to somebody yesterday. That is me down to a T.
Yeah. So I'm quite comfortable in my own
doing your thing.
My own company.
Yeah.
I'm not a sort of extroverted person who wants to be out there.
Yeah. Requires those social fixes kind of thing.
So I didn't feel that was like a role suited to me, maybe. And but they convinced me to take the role, and here I am. I've managed to survive. I'm sort of 11 years into the role.
Wow.
And the business was I was always trying to buy Mountjoy because I was like, okay, I sort of try and propositions to buy it a few times, and then we were nearly sold in 16, 17. Yeah, at the 11th hour, it fell through.
Oh wow.
And that was the opportunity that we seized. So I effectively, it's like an arranged marriage because I ended up doing a management buyout with two other business partners who were the MDs of my two sister companies at the time.
Oh wow.
We bought the parent company.
Yeah.
And then roll forward to 2 years ago, I'd done a second phase MBO where we bought Mountjoy out from the parent company that I bought back in 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I could actually work with the people that I want to work with and the business partners I want to be my business partners.
What do you enjoy most about your role?
Trying to create a positive culture.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that difficult though? Because trying to keep everyone happy when you've got that many humans.
I'll give you an analogy,
hard,
right? This is an analogy, So it's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the bigger the business, the harder it is.
Yeah.
And like if you're in the forces, you can create a really strong culture. And what happens if people don't fit into your beliefs, your values, the direction of travel, your why, your purpose? Yeah, they are ejected.
Yeah.
They are because they don't.
The
is that off you go because you don't step up to the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm afraid business is not like that.
There's HR and processes.
Civilian life is different, and everyone's got different motivations. Yeah. And some people just never buy into your purpose, your why, your cause. They'll never buy into the things that I'm doing with you guys. Yeah. They think it's like nonsense. Whatever. That's fine.
They'd rather have a pay rise kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So trying to create that culture in a business is bloody tough. But what you've got to try and do is just believe in what you're doing and know that eventually you'll find enough people that do believe in what you're doing. And then over time you start to create this team of people that do buy into the ethos and the culture.
Yeah. And understanding that it's not just Mountjoy as a brand, it's everything that goes into that. And I mean you're leading the way like beyond expectations of all of us in the local community. Like I know it's proper cheesy, but like we are all so grateful for the work that you do.
Thank you, but I don't feel like I just feel like I'm just doing my thing. But
but it will go down in history. It will go down in history.
I'd say I think one of the things that is nice, yeah, is like when we do an employee survey, what what a lot of staff say about Mountjoy is it feels like a family, but we're not a
Yeah.
family business.
Yeah.
But that's nice because
Yeah,
that's
that's
how it
lovely.
feels. Yeah, and I think okay, that says to me
Yeah.
we're getting something right.
Yeah. And you're always going to get the bad apples. You're always going to get the
Yeah,
moaners. You're always going to get the Karens, like no matter where you go. Like I managed exactly the same, you know, for everybody, but there's always going to be people who like my management style and those that don't. And, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. It is what it is, and take them on the chin and move on. Your journey is like nothing short of phenomenal, and like I'm super appreciative of you opening up the way that you have today. You've thrown a couple of things in there that I wasn't going to approach with you publicly, so I do really appreciate that. I really hope that it enables people to understand like why you do the work that you do, and in particular why you do the work that you do with Politely Rebellious Next Gen. I know that we've got some news coming towards the end of the year, which we won't divulge just yet, which is super exciting for us and for you, but more importantly for the next generation of the city. If you could give the next gen a bit of advice, having like listened to your journey today, like what would that advice be?
I think that the biggest thing that I've always tried to do is be accountable for myself. Yeah, because no one else is going to be.
Yeah.
And I quickly learned that lesson, the hard way, because people aren't going to be there to help you. People will be, people will be there to, if you show the right intent, then they'll be there to help guide you. Yeah, but if you're not wanting to help yourself, at the end of the day, show that commitment to be the better person, the better version of yourself, and be accountable for your own actions. Yeah, then you're going to find it hard in life, because ultimately it's only you that can change your destiny. Yeah. And that's the biggest advice I would give to young people is that ultimately you've got to think about like, okay, so what would my 25-year-old say of the decisions I'm making now as a 17-year-old? What would they think of them? Because you've got to hold yourself to account for that.
And it's almost like getting rid of the excuses, get rid of the barriers. Like we've all had journeys, we've all had experiences that have impacted us, but ultimately the best thing you can do is use them as a reason to be great. Don't use them as an excuse to be shit.
Yeah, never dwell on the past.
Yeah,
always focus on the future. Because you can only take control of the future. You can't take control of the past. It's happened. You just got to learn your lessons from the past, and sometimes they're pretty profound lessons you have to learn. But as long as you use those lessons in the right way to shape your future,
it can be powerful.
It can be very powerful.
I really appreciate that. Right, I'm going to take it down a notch now in true PR fashion and ask you some quick fire questions, Simon. Okay. No right or wrong answer. So I want to ask you first of all, what is the most politely rebellious thing you've ever done? Obviously not the law breaking stuff, that doesn't count.
So what is the most politely rebellious? Do you know that the problem from going from being a complete bad boy to then trying to be a saint, it's like I've been living a life of a saint probably.
But that is being politely rebellious. Like I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and when you turn around to a whole group of friends and maybe sometimes a whole job and a whole industry, even if it's an underground industry, and go, I don't want to do that anymore, I'm going to become a saint. Like it is politely rebellious, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose I don't do it so much now, but Elaine and I we have been
Keep
known
it PG.
No, we have been known to get rather drunk now and again.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I've not had this experience. I haven't seen Drunk Simon yet.
No, so and like the problem I have is with alcohol is that I don't have this some people are able to say, okay, all right, I've reached my limit, and my wife's terrible because she doesn't know her limit.
Oh really?
And then I always end up in a right old mess, and she's still sort of like with it a little bit. So there have been a few times.
So she knows her limit, but you don't. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same with my husband. He doesn't know that if he has that one more, that it's going to tip him over. He just doesn't know. Yeah. It's so annoying.
Yes, and then I can be a little bit messy.
Yeah. I can't imagine that version of you. One day, maybe at the Christmas dinner. Leave your car on the island. So quick fire questions. No right or wrong answers. Roasties or mash?
Roasties.
Yeah. Are you
definitely
the king of making the roasties, or is Elaine?
I'm a pretty good cook actually.
Are you?
Yeah. But I do love mash as well. I mean, not either.
I had mash last night, to be fair. with sausage and beans. Proper British grub. I was spent all day in Basingstoke with the police, and I got home and Joe was like, "What we having for dinner?" I was like, "Really?"
Bangers
Sausage
and mash and onion gravy. You can't beat it.
Joe makes the best onion gravy. Do you make it like with the like proper? Oh yeah, nom nom nom. Movie or music?
Oh, I'd say actually nowadays more music, because
Really?
I'm listening to music all of the time.
Yeah.
So I always I have my playlist on this morning.
What's your go-to genre?
Do you know what? I'm quite eclectic actually.
Yeah.
So I will just listen to all of the Apple playlists, and
Yeah.
I switch around between today's hits. I was listening to Agenda this morning.
To what?
Agenda, which
What's
is more
that?
sort of like rappy type.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How funny.
Sort of like R&B sort of stuff.
Just bigging yourself up, ready
Yeah,
for your day ahead.
yeah, exactly. It's just
What about when you're running?
when my run. If I'm doing a short run, then
Yeah.
I'll just do anything. But if I'm going for a big run, like
Great
sim
stuff.
up, I'll amp it up a little bit with a bit of sort of like going back to my ravey days, sort of
bit of house, or were you D&B?
No house, and I'll do some sort of techno.
Techno. Wowza. I love this. I freaking love this part of my job. It's like the most fun ever. Leadership or finance?
Leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still, obviously, I'm assuming, are you still heavily involved in the finance side of it, but just from a different perspective?
Yeah, so I mean, like your finance brain never switches off, but like I'm always thinking about. So I leave Dan to worry about the cost of everything, and I worry about the value of everything.
So you give the money, and then he justifies the money.
Yeah, so I'm always trying to create value.
Fair. Party or poker?
Party.
Yeah. And hike or swim?
Hike.
Yeah,
most definitely.
You love getting out and about, and I know that's a massive part of you looking after yourself, being a great leader, dealing with your mental health in any way that you can is exercising and doing that. What's your like go-to exercise if you just need to like shake the day away?
It'll be to go for a run.
Really?
Yeah.
Out in the big wide world.
Yeah, just like fresh air.
Yeah.
In through your lungs. There's nothing like it, and with your playlist in your ears.
Play techno.
Yeah.
Techno. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you, and I hope that you all take something from Simon's incredible journey. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.